Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sipniewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Please know this is not financial advice. I'm only here to entertain you and to remind you to only buy on those red candles. Okay, just like in 2008, the difficult financial market of 2008 shook out the likes of Bernie Madoff. The great global financial crisis of 2022 are shaking out some projects that are not in great condition. They're over leveraged or have problems in general. They've made bad investments and they're starting to fall like dominoes themselves. We're talking specifically today about Three Arrows Capital and how, everything is all connected. Three Arrows Capital, Terra Luna, Celsius, Voyager, anybody that has loans out with anybody else. It's all coming down like dominoes, right? One by one, they're all coming down. And yes, my hair is like this tonight. What is up, Keith? Thank you so much for popping by my live. What's up, Steve, the Canadian? How are you? AJ? Yeah, I just don't feel like doing my hair. So that's oh, well, good morning to you too. It's good evening here, but good morning. So this is the situation. Let's start off with Three Arrows Capital. A little background on them. Two buddies from college, Kyle Davies and Zusu. So they were friends from college. They started their firm in 2012. They did a really great job. And by 2017, they realized, there's something to this cryptocurrency game. People that are young are very involved in it. It just seems like a dynamic thing that's happening. By 2018, they basically were exclusively dealing with cryptocurrency. Now, don't forget, 2018, that was very early in the crypto game. So they were really able to stock their portfolio full of really great projects, very, very cheap. Very, very cheap. Everything was going fine for them, right? They seemed to be doing well, like everybody else. If you were in early enough, you were doing well. What's the one thing that seems to have hurt everybody? Terra Luna. Terra Luna and their depegging of their stable coin with their over minting of the Luna token hurt a lot of projects, specifically Three Arrows Capital. They had about $300 million worth of Luna. By the time the hypermint was over and done, their once $300 million investment was now worth less than $1,000. That's it. That's crazy. 300 million to 1,000. So you can see how that hurt them, right? Now, in a way, to protect themselves, they started doing what everybody else would do, right? They're going to over leverage themselves in one place to try to make money over here. And maybe they could have done it. Maybe they could have gotten away with it. Everything would have been okay. Not in this bear market, not with what's going on with the economy. There's not going to be a V-shaped recovery for us, I hate to tell you. It's going to be a long, slow haul. So if you're patient, if you're a wise investor and you're patient and you're not too over leveraged, man, you can make a great amount of money in this market soon. It's going to be down the road, but it's going to be soon. Good evening, Joel. Thank you so much for that $10 bomb. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get back to the story of what happened here. So they made some pretty big gambles, right? Like they made the gamble on Terra Luna. That went bust. Now, maybe if it was just the Terra Luna thing, maybe that would have been okay. But once again, people are making these bets on staked ETH, right? Making the bets. Whoever would have thought ETH 2.0, proof of stake, wouldn't be up and running by now? Like, it's been a long time, right? Like, everybody figured that it definitely should have been up and running by now. So people that sunk money into that, they're waiting. So they're one of the people that put a lot of money into that as well. They tried to pull it out, though, at a loss. And you're talking about, I think it was like 22,000 staked ETH. That's a lot. but they're trying to do everything they can to kind of correct the ship. They don't want to go down, but it's unfortunate. Everybody's hurt in this situation because everybody's connected. So they're over leveraged everywhere. Like all of these different little platforms, places where you don't think that, okay, bigger people like this definitely wouldn't have to borrow a bunch of money from someone. No, they're on there too, right? Like it's actually kind of embarrassed. Like they're on Bitfinex. They have money out from FTX and BitMEX and Deribit. Like they owe money everywhere. And these people that they owe money to can't get them on the phone. Like that's the worst thing to do. If you owe money to somebody, geez, at least pick up their phone, at least answer some questions. Koma Inu is up again. Yeah, it did great the other night. That little Koma Inu is it's just a dominating little community token has a very interesting backstory. So if you guys don't know it, go check it out. They're on Twitter. It's actually pretty cool, and it's a very new token. Like the community is very, very, very new. You know, Carl Davies, who is one of the founders of Three Arrows, he gave an interview to Wall Street Journal not too long ago. And don't forget, Suzu and Carl Davies, these guys are normally all over Twitter, very active on Twitter, you know, crap talking other projects or, you know, giving people directives on how to invest their money all over Twitter. But they became strangely silent a couple of days ago. So it was unusual that, you know, people that were so active on Twitter just all of a sudden dropped out of sight. So that gave people the heads up that, you know what, something could be going wrong over there at Three Arrows Capital. These guys have been really, really silent. And as a matter of fact, not too long ago, Carl Davies gave the Wall Street Journal an interview. And he was asked about the Terra Luna situation. And he's like, you know, hey, we got this, you know, we know what we're doing. We've been in business for quite a long time. And, you know, we're going to be fine with this. But the truth is they're not. Like, so now all of the money that they've borrowed is coming due, right? Like they're getting liquidated on some platforms. They're completely over leveraged. All their cards are on the table now. Everybody knows. That's why they're ducking calls. They're off Twitter. They can't take the heat, which is unfortunate because if that were you and me, right? Like we'd be hunted down. There would be no way that we would be able to get away with dodging calls. Somebody would come find us, right? Probably some big hairy dude named Knuckles. You know how that goes. So that's basically the situation there. I mean, so they went from a respected firm that people gave a lot of money to because, you know, they seemed to know what they were doing. As far as risk management goes, they seem to have everything under control. They didn't seem like they would be a wild card. Like this is a respectable firm. It turns out they're more like just two dudes buying shit coins looking like degen plays. How unfortunate is that? That's how crazy this market is. If you're over leveraged in any way to a certain tune of a certain amount that you definitely can't pay, this market's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. And I think they're all connected. Like all of these smaller platform, Voyager, you know, they owe a lot of money to Voyager. They're about to get liquidated over there. And when you hear liquidated, you think, okay, well, their assets are up. They could sell their, no, like these guys don't put the kind of assets up, right? They're just borrowing money because you think, oh, it's Three Arrows Capital. They're good for it. No. So somebody like Voyager winds up loaning $650 million to Three Arrows Capital that now they can't pay back. So with that, you know, somebody said on Twitter today, I just tried to take money off Voyager and it wouldn't let me. I was like, well, you know, probably because of Three Arrows Capital situation. And they're like, huh? So I'm like, oh, you don't know about that? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's got its tentacles everywhere. And the very beginning of that domino fall, it's Terra Luna. Like that shook all of these different projects. Maybe if that didn't happen, maybe it would have been okay. Maybe they would have been able to cover some other stuff, but I think that all of it put together and the continuation of the declining market, it's not looking good for these projects, right? It's not looking good for Celsius. They too have a lot of money invested into staked ETH, into Ethereum 2.0. But what do you do in a situation like that? This is why it's so important to be careful what you do with your money. I know you tuck your money away some way and you're like, okay, it's over here and I'm making like 2000 APY with my tokens. Like it's the smart thing to do. Like that is, you would think, the smart thing to do. Instead of having your tokens just sit in your wallet and collect dust, you're going to put them to work for you to make some income. Why not? You know, especially when you have them stuck in a mine somewhere. You could literally go and watch your tokens or your money go up. It just kind of accumulates like every 30 seconds, or I don't know how some of them are set up. I know mine on VVS populates like every 30 seconds. You get to see more and more and more money that you have. That's the smart thing to do, right? That's what we're told. Don't just let your stuff sit in your wallet. Put your money to work for you and take it from there, which it is the smart thing to do. So I see a lot of people from Koma Inu in the house. Okay, I will talk about Koma Inu in just a little second. I got to finish my story. Look at Teddy Ganja's in the house, my buddy Teddy. Let me see what Keith said here from CoinViewCap. CoinViewCap, but Voyager said the line of credit they don't need now. They have it just in case they need it to use. That was a line of credit that was extended to them from, hold on, let me think. Alameda Research. So they were in agreement with Alameda Research, I think to the tune of like $350 million that they have with, I think they got like some extraordinary amount of Bitcoin along with some UDC that they're going to give them in case they need it, right? Because they've just been having a lot of people pulling off their platform. I think they halted, I think the most you can pull off of there is like 1,500 a day. So we'll see. I mean, we don't know. I mean, maybe they think they have something coming, or who knows, Keith? Maybe they finally got a call from Three Arrows, because what we know as of today is that nobody can seem to get these dudes on the phone. However, maybe at some point during the day, Three Arrows Capital was able to make contact with all of their different creditors and was like, hey, we got this. We're moving some things around. I know it looks sketchy. I know it looks hairy, but, we'll get there. So who knows? Maybe that's the situation. I hope they don't need it, right? Like, I hope people are able to take their money out and play it safe. So, like I said, weeks and weeks ago, what am I doing with my money? Well, I left some of it in Ethereum because, I like to make little quick degen plays and, buy a little of this and that, maybe not making much profit, but, some. And, but the rest of it, I put in stable coins, not algorithmic stable coins, but like a good something that's actually tethered to a physical dollar someplace. That seems to be a safe bet. Like in Binance, I stuck it all in BUSD. It's okay. Thank God, because Binance fizzled down to, was it like 204, or maybe, I think it was under $200. Was it 114 it got down to? It was scary, scary low is all I know. And it's absolutely crazy. FTX just sent them 100 million in USDC. Oh gosh. FTX will own Voyager soon. As long as they're able to help, I think that's fine, right? I don't care if somebody goes and buys up Three Arrows Capital. As long as people are able to get their money back, that's all I care about. Like, the average investor is not going to be hurt and wounded, because it always just seem the way that that billionaires and millionaires have the luxury of getting bailed out, and it's always the little guy that takes the hit. We always seem to take the hit, and we're the ones that really get hurt in the end. So yeah, these guys, they were definitely respected in their skills and, projects felt like they could trust them. So, they not only are leveraged a bunch, but they also took control, not complete control, but a lot of projects trusted them with certain portions of their treasury. Avalanche, I mean, there's just like it goes very deep. It goes very deep and it's all connected. I think all in total, they're like $1 billion in the hole. How do you get yourself out? Well, first of all, I'm thinking, how do you get into $1 billion hole? But secondly, how are you going to climb out of $1 billion hole, right? Hi, John Patrick. Welcome to the channel. What's up, Hammer? Hammer of Retribution. Ooh, I like that name. That sounds very serious. Very, very serious. Yep, okay, so David Cooper wants everybody to know about Koma Inu, which is a great new project. I don't even think they have like no, maybe they have over 200 holders at this point, but it's like a completely decentralized project that was built by this guy, Ryan, and, he's sent a certain portion of the tokens over to Vitalik Buterin and renounced the contract to Vitalik. So Ryan's like, if somebody rugs this project, it's Vitalik. That's the only way that this project can go down. So we'll have to see what happens there. I think it's interesting to kind of see, as far as decentralization goes, how far can you get a community token to go? Like, how many people are going to get into Koma Inu? It did have a crazy week. I think it went up like 400 something percent, maybe even 600 something percent. Anyway, had a little bit of a dip today. So, when something like that dips and it seems to have momentum and you go and look at the buys and sells, if you still see like a nice flurry of buys along with people taking profits, it could be a good time to get in. When the red candle's there, you know what I say? Red candles, that's when you should buy. It could be a good entry point for Koma Inu. Hammer says, just joined and already like what I heard. Oh, you must be a Koma Inu holder, right? You must be a Koma Inu holder. I was going to do a live stream just with them today, but you know what? The Three Arrows thing has got it's so freaking crazy that I had to talk about that, because how everything is absolutely connected and everything is just, if you have to trace it back, it's going to be traced back to Terra Luna and what Terra Luna did. And believe you me, hey, I think if not for Do Kwon, maybe it wouldn't have even happened. Maybe if he wasn't on Twitter smack talking millionaires because they're not billionaires, I don't think he would have had such a huge target on his back. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. This could be what a lot of people are looking for, but I mean, I just don't think so. So these are some of the assets that is in the portfolio of Three Arrows Capital. And like I said, they've been in since freaking 2018, which was very, very early to get into cryptocurrency. And still, this project that you would think, these guys are smart. They know the markets. They know what they're doing. They understand leverage. They understand risk management. How could it get here? The market is what it is. I mean, we're not even officially into a recession yet, and already we're starting to see these big dominoes fall already. So yeah, what's up, always crypto? Thank you so much for popping by the channel. So what I think I'll do now is, what a problem with StreamYards, Teddy, I don't know if you're having this problem too, but I used to be able to share a screen and just jump around from tab to tab to tab. And I can't do that anymore for whatever reason. So let's go to Koma Inu, because I know a lot of you guys in here like Koma Inu. So let me make sure you can see it. Yep. Overextended am I overextended? No. I'm a girl that lives a simple life. No. Okay, so this is the deal with Koma Inu. They well, actually, I probably should hit up the article that was written because it's very interesting. Like I said, it's just like a new little community token, and I should go down to the first article this guy released. Like the community put together the Telegram. This guy couldn't even get in it. The guy that's on Twitter, he's like, I couldn't get through the second thing on Telegram. Can somebody please let me in?" And they have like this second reCAPTCHA activated on the Telegram. I think it's unnecessary to be that crazy about it. And I'm like, yeah, I can't see it myself. Like it was hard to get in. So I understand why the guy didn't get it in time because as soon as you get into the room, you have to fill in this other thing, and if you don't do it, they boot you right away. So, okay, so this was the first article that I read about Koma Inu, and now I just can't go over to this screen and share it because it stinks. StreamYard stinks all of a sudden. Now I have to go back here and go to share screen over here. Okay, I'm going to read this. So, in case you guys are unfamiliar with Koma Inu, this was the very first thing that I read about Koma Inu, and I was intrigued. It was just intriguing. There was nobody giving you a BS line. This is what it is, and this is what we can expect from it. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan. I am just an ordinary investor, just like everybody reading this. I'm glad you stopped by and took the time out of your day to read this. So let us begin. I am the founder of Koma Inu. The amazing thing is that it already has Inu in its name. I didn't have to add it to be cool. After taking a recent journey to Japan, I had the idea for this project. It amazed me the story and the culture behind Koma Inu, half dog, half lion. They are found at the entrance to places of worship to protect Buddhists. I love the history behind them, and it made me think this crypto space is turning more centralized and not the true meaning of crypto. I decided to try out Koma Inu. People scream utility, but they forget what the best utility of the space is. It is called decentralized blockchain technology. This is what this space was founded on. So I thought it's time to bring back the space back to its original roots. I'm giving the power back to the people, just like they pushed many other projects in the past to the moon and beyond, and they didn't know the dev or anything. It was an amazing time in history, and I think we need to have this happen again. Koma Inu, let's go. So that's a Koma Inu. Half lion, half dog. I will not dox, nor will I KYC. Also, if you're here reading this, you probably can read Etherscan too. I sent the liquidity tokens to Vitalik, so the tokens are in his hands. He would never rug on his people. I am no tech wizard or crazy developer, so I figured I would put this project into the hand of the best dev I know. I renounced the contract to him. I will not be paying any influencers. They can come back to earth and realize where they came from. Influencers are raking in money, not all of us, charging projects crazy numbers. It just does not feel like it's coming from the heart anymore. They know everything about crypto when they just get rich and did videos on Shiba Inu for free. The new influencers just follow in the steps of the others. So let's get back to our original roots. Let's go, Koma Inu. I want this token to be decentralized as possible because it's the beautiful thing about crypto and what I love most. I can't wait to see where this door in life takes us. It's up to the people. There will no longer, oh, there will be no Telegram or Discord at first. I'll set one up after a few weeks. For now, come to the official Twitter page for updates. Decentralized, it works. May the wind always be at your back and the sun upon your face, and may the wings of destiny carry you aloft to dance with the stars. And look, we know who that is, riding on the back of Koma Inu. So what do you guys think? Does it sound interesting? I don't know. It seems cool. Seems cool. So I told the Koma Inu people that I would definitely read that so that everybody could see and understand what's up with them. So good morning, Daniel Lyons. It's evening here, but it's, you know, Good morning to you. So, anonymous, I'm skeptical. That's cool. It's fine to be skeptical. That's the beautiful thing about cryptocurrency, right? There's so many projects out there. You get to pick which ones you want to be into. If that article didn't tickle your fancy, you move on to the next project. No one's pushing you to be into any project. That's not how I roll here. I did invest some money into Koma Inu early on. Well, I bought the day. I made one video about it when I initially bought into Koma Inu, and I wanna say that was, like, the second day it had launched. Somebody had, tweeted me, they DM'd me, and they're like, "Hey, did you hear about this interesting, fun little project?" I'm like, "No." So I checked it out, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I went there and I bought it, and it, like, went up 600% this past week, and I only put a couple $100 towards it, and when I looked at it, it was, like, almost 2 ETH. So I took profits, but I didn't sell. I left a nice big moon bag because I think this still has a long way to go. I didn't just wanna dump all of my money because I don't know how much liquidity was in there, but I didn't wanna hurt the project. I just wanted to nib some profits and leave something, behind for the project. Let's just see where it goes. I'm just gonna ride it out. I'll see where this project goes, but it's one of those that, they're very upfront with, "Yeah, we don't have anything right now, but this is just our story. Do you wanna rock with it?" Like, she didn't really have any utility in the beginning. It was nothing but a community token, like many tokens start off. They start off just as community tokens. So if you can rock with that. Did I cut my hair? No, it's just up. It's up. It's humid here tonight and my hair gets crazy curly and I just don't feel like dealing with it when it's like that. Or you're high. I could do that too, but I don't think anybody would want to see me on camera being high because I don't think I would make any sense at all. Not that I make a whole heck of a lot of sense now, but yeah, so according to, I started off talking about the Three Arrows Capital and how because of them, all of these smaller exchanges have exposure because of them. And like I said, it's like $1 billion sort of spread out all of these different exchanges that trusted Three Arrows Capital because they're a trustworthy name. Why wouldn't you want to loan them some money and make some yield? Because they're good for it, right? I mean, that would be like, let's just say I ran into a celebrity that I know is filthy dirty rich, and they're like, "Oh man, I left my wallet in the house. Could you spot me 100? When I see you again, I'll pay you 200 for sure." Like if it's somebody that's, they have a reputation to protect and they're wealthy, why not? Why wouldn't I do that? That's why people loaned to Three Arrows Capital, and now they're getting kicked in the butt, right? Like, they're just completely $1 billion in the hole, you know, uh, Finblocks, Genesis, we're talking about Voyager, um, there's people that don't even wanna FTX, BitMEX, Deribit, like, all of these people they're owing a serious amount of money to. So if you're on some of these different exchanges, you're thinking, okay, like, well, how is that going to affect me? And what did Three Arrows Capital have on Celsius? And what do Three Arrows Capital and Celsius and all of these other people have in common? It's probably Terra Luna because Terra Luna was the first domino to fall in this whole entire thing. And now when that first domino fell, it exposed a lot of people, a lot of projects who otherwise supposedly have good risk management. It showed them to be completely over leveraged. And maybe in a normal market, that would be okay, right? Like in normal market conditions and times, that kind of leverage would be acceptable and be okay, but not with the market the way that it is now. All of the money that's coming out of the market, people, number one, uh, because people are getting liquidated, most of the assets that were up there were Bitcoin. So you see, you wonder why Bitcoin is so low. It's because it's having to be sold because so many people, their positions are becoming liquidated. So it's just getting dumped onto the market left and freaking right. So now, where once Bitcoin was 69,000, not that it was there for very long, I understand it bounced up there in one day and immediately was crawling on back home. But it's just only going to get worse. We're potentially, and I said this 2 weeks ago, everybody was upset with me and pissed off. Listen, we're going to see an $11,000 Bitcoin and a $500 Ethereum. I'm sure of it. Daniel Lyon says leverage is one thing, re-leveraging through lending between exchanges and lending platforms is the unhealthy part. You are so right. Dow fell hard and took a lot of lives with it. Mm-hmm. Yep. A lot of lives and a lot of people's money because, Celsius, there was just like a lot of people that were just average, regular, everyday investors. We're not talking about like this huge institutional wealth that was parked on Celsius. No, it was just regular people looking to make some yield with their Bitcoin or their little part of Bitcoin or whatever they held. Maybe somebody only had a couple $100. They parked it on Celsius. They're like, you know what? That's a good thing. That's a sure thing. I'm going to let it sit there and I'm going to let it grow because that's what everybody tells you to do, to be smart. Okay, make yourself a little income. Don't let it collect dust in your wallet. Go out there and put your money to work for you. Be a smart investor. That's supposed to be the smart thing to do. And then you have these platforms that just, it's like they don't care. They don't even look what Alex Mashinsky did. That's the CEO of Celsius Network. Right up to the day that they paused withdrawals and deposits. Well, not deposits. You could put money in there. You need to make a payment on your loan. You could make a payment. Exchanges and withdrawals. Couldn't do any of that. They halted all of that. Right up to the day that they did that, he swore everything was fine. He went on interviews with BitBoy Crypto, gave interviews on YouTube, talked to other media, and was like, "No, we're solid." Anything that you're hearing that tells you otherwise, that we're not 100% great, is FUD. It's just FUD. Don't listen to it. We're fine. The very next day, they went on lockdown. What? Like you can't trust anybody. Like Kyle Davies sent out this huge, not huge, sent out a tweet. I think it was in the middle of June, how bullish he was on staked ETH and how the future of that looks great. And you're crazy if you're not into it because it's the future, blah, blah, blah. Like a bullet, like he's bullish on staked ETH. They pulled out of it. They pulled out their 22,000 staked ETH at a loss, at a huge loss, just to get the hell out of it because now they're scrambling. Where are we going to get, how are we going to pay? Like, where are we going to get these funds? Where are we going to pay? The market's killing us. What's going to happen? See how these people mislead you? You're the average investor and you rely on people that you consider knowledgeable, people that are whales, wealthy, right? You always want to take investment advice from somebody who's wealthy. That seems like the smart thing to do. You don't want to take investment advice from somebody who's poor, somebody who's in debt, right? Somebody who doesn't have two nickels to rub together, as my mom used to say about people that didn't have money. They don't have two nickels to rub together. Don't date them. My mom was a very wise woman. But no, I had to marry for love, right? What's up, Space Chick Crypto? This is my friend Elizabeth. Very bullish on Volt. She has a YouTube channel. And so if you guys want to go and subscribe to her, very pretty young lady, very smart when it comes to cryptocurrency. Daniel Lyon says there are leverage chains I've seen where one Bitcoin actually held represents as much as one Bitcoin on paper. On paper. There are leverage chains I've seen where one Bitcoin held represents as much as 11. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't have 11 Bitcoin on paper. That's crazy. That's why I knew it didn't sound right. I'm like, well, 1 to 1. What's wrong with that? But I put on the glasses and I saw that extra one. That's crazy. Are you shitting me? So when stuff like this happens, right? Like the situation that Voyager found themselves in with them, what do you do? But like I say, they probably completely trusted them, and that's why. What is up, SSD train 1? No, it's just up. I it's very humid where I live now, and my hair is like an afro because I don't straighten it when it's humid because I just can't find very curly, tight curl hair. So I'm like, "No, I can't deal with this. It's just gotta be the way it is." So I stuck it up in a bun. Ahoy, here listening to our girls spit facts. Yep, that's right. So, probably people that are just getting here, and of course, my cat is gonna start to cry. "Libby, be a good girl, okay? Mommy's doing this show. Remember I said I'm doing the show? Pretty little ladybug. My lady, I love you." Okay, so let's see what Daniel Lyons has to say. What would really help here is called a Provenance Foundation, similar to Cardano's Italia Prism for Identity, where native asset backgrounds can be viewed and you can calculate real leverage. That sounds great to me. Oh, Pablo just got off the air. I love Pablo. Pablo Crow, who is like the number one most bullish guy on Volt Inu ever. Completely bullish on Volt. He's absolutely great. Yep, that's the situation with that. So, yeah. So here you go. You have these two gentlemen that start their firm fresh out of college buddies, Zhu Su and Kyle Davies, just chilling, just working their little magic right there in their living room, just the two of them. And they grow their company to have 30 people in it, just chugging along, making people a shit ton of money. By 2017, they're like, hey, man, what's this cryptocurrency thing here? What's going on with this crypto thing? So by 2018, they were only all basically into crypto. It's okay, honey. God bless you. So can you imagine 2018, you're into everything very early? Oh, thank you. Hello, sexy voice, Miss Tammy. Well, hello to you too. Volt, baby. Got some Volt people in the house. Everybody's bullish on Volt. Volt had some news today, right? Was it another exchange that they're on or getting into an exchange? Elizabeth made this video. It was hilarious about how crypto.com had sent out a tweet saying, "What is your favorite token?" And the Volt people bombed the hell out of it. Everybody replied to it. Everybody retweeted it. Everybody was hearting everybody else's comments. And crypto.com finally took it down. They were like, oh no. Elizabeth is like, they couldn't handle the voltage. It was just too much voltage for them. It was just too much. So, well, let me share the page over here because it does look really nice. Their swap is going to be crazy nice. So can you imagine for all of you, like we always talk about tokens and projects that are going to have real world utility, something that's an asset, something that's going to bring in money, actual money. That's the kind of project that you want to be invested into. That's why I went in so big into Terrarium because I knew that they were going to have this exchange and that it would equate to real world money, real world profits, which is only going to make the price of the token go up. Here we go with Volt. Now everybody was like, oh, Volt, Volt is just, it's just a meme coin and it's just this and it's just that. Look what they're doing. Look what they have done. They're not even 6 months old, and the good thing that I like about Volt is they don't blow smoke up your skirt, okay? They kept this under wraps this whole entire time. We didn't know they were working on this. Nobody knew about Volti Change. They're announcing Volti Change now because it's probably going to be ready soon. Like they kept that under wraps. They kept getting exchange after exchange after exchange, which, when they're on that many exchanges, that's just more holders that find out about it. When you're on that many exchanges, that definitely is going to catch the attention of the big, huge, bigger exchanges. It's going to make us more desirable. And I don't care what anybody says. I believe that we are definitely bigger than Token A. Tammy, did you hear the announcement today on Twitter for GGG NFTs? That's huge deal. Well, let's check out my Ganja Goons NFT thing because I love me some Teddy Ganja. He is my good friend. I can't remember the exact so let me just go to Teddy. I'm sure he has it pinned up on his. Ganja Goons Gang. Countdown begins for Ganja Goons Gang to be in the metaverse. Plantanasso token. Who's ready? Buy now or cry later. NFTs. Okay. Let's see. Oh, they got a little TikTok thing. Should we watch the TikTok thing? Hold on. Let me see.
Breathe in.
It scared me.
Breathe out. Breathe in.
That was
breathe out.
Awesome. I hope he doesn't get hit with a copyright thing for the Planet of the Apes, though. That was seriously cool, right, guys? Did you hear that? Were you guys able to hear that? Space Chick says 7 tier 1s by December. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, look at this huge news. I mean, there's just, what, there are good solid projects coming up that that's true. I think you have to pick your projects and know why you're investing in them and believe in that project and when the market is down. But listen, I want everybody to understand what I'm saying because I don't want you to get the wrong idea. What my sort of philosophy now is in this market, now that we all know it's not going to be a V-shaped recovery, it's going to be a long, slow crawl back to where we once were. But I believe when we get back there, we're going to go shooting right past it. Like Bitcoin definitely is going to go over 69,000 when the market rallies back. We don't know when that's going to be because look, right now we're not even officially in a recession. You have to have 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. We don't have that yet. So we're not officially in a recession, but if you're a regular person that fills your tank with gas or goes to the grocery store, we're in a recession and the inflation is out of control. Buy dips, but don't go crazy buying your dips because things are going to get lower. So let's say if you used to buy like $100 at a dip at a time, I would dial it back to 10 or 15 bucks a dip. If you're even going to buy every other day or day, whatever it is that you usually do when you accumulate your tokens. Like at least once a day, I like to go on crypto.com and do the missions because you get free diamonds with missions, and that equates to free crypto.com native token when you trade those diamonds in. So I like to get at least 6 diamonds a day, at least. And you get 1 by going in, and you get 5 if you buy $20 of anything. So every single day, regardless of what I'm doing, where I am, I'm at least buying $20 worth of something just on crypto.com. I usually buy more because it depends on If it's a red candle day or if it's a green candle day. If it's a green candle day, I only buy the 20 bucks worth. That's all I want. But if it's a red candle day, I'll buy more. But I'm slowing down the buying significantly because we're going down even further. This is just the beginning. If you think that this situation is bad, like the situation with Three Arrows Capital, the situation with Celsius, Terra Luna, let's not even talk about them. Assholes. Uh, it's going to be way worse, guys. It's going to go down way, way, way further. Like we're talking $11,000 Bitcoin, $500 Ethereum. Like or ETH, I know, Ether, $500 Ether. That's how low it's going to go. And how long it's going to take to get back, I don't know. Like they need to start doing something. Listen, as far as them raising the interest rates, dude, they had to do it, right? Like it should have been done before. I don't want to talk about when I think it should have been done because people get mad at me, but it should have been done way before when the economy was good, before this whole thing happened with the shutdowns and everything. That's when it should have been raised. There's no way it should have sat there where it was for as long as it was, because if they had raised it then, when we got into hard financial times now, they would have been able to lower it and it would have been able to help the economy, but we had no wiggle room. We had nowhere to go but up. So they had to just do it. Now, actually, I was listening to a guy speaking the other day, and he said, if we want to completely fix the whole financial system in the United States, to like basically hit the reset on the republic as it stands in our financial system, that we need to raise the interest rates to 20%. What? You think inflation's bad now? It would be horrible at 20%. But what he was saying, the point that he was making is that yes, it's going to be short-term pain and it's going to be terrible and awful, but what it's going to do is completely balance out the system. The government is going to have to rein in spending and everything has to equal itself. Like food has to equal out, but then people have to be paid a living wage to be able to buy everything, to afford everything, right? Like everything would eventually balance out. I mean, I don't know, 20% though. I would like to talk to that guy and ask him why he picked that particular number. Like, if you ask me, I think like 7-8% is very high interest. 20%, what would that do? Like, would people literally be starving in their house? They wouldn't even be able to buy spaghetti. I grew up very poor. We ate a lot of spaghetti. Like at least 5 times a week we had spaghetti. Yep, BTC will go back 17K sooner or later. Listen, I think it's going down to 11. I think it's going down to $11,000. And I think Ether is going to hit 500. Maybe Ether will even go lower. Who knows? Grid bot trading is much safer now. I hate those bots, right? The little med bots, the little things that you will see, the little red robot, they eat up all the profits. I would love a 20% federal funds rate. For once in my lifetime, it'd be worth saving my money in a bank. I hear you. I feel you. I hear you. So that's the situation. That's the crappy situation in the market. It's not going to be a V-shaped recovery. It's going to be a slow haul, and it's not going to be good. So what do? You should not what's up, Vault? Vault will kill 3 to 5 zeros by 1 year anniversary. We were just talking about that, like why it's important to pick your projects that you like and buy their dips, and then when you feel the bottom of the market is in, that's when you ape in. Like that, right? Like that is when you ape in. And that's why it's important to look at areas of support and resistance. Maybe I should pull up a chart. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of this. Let me go to Keith was here earlier from CoinViewCap, and I like CoinViewCap for certain things, but I prefer the Dex Tools chart better. So what else happened today? Oh, did you guys see that token about giving back to Token A? Like it's like a little, I don't know, like a little socialism plan for the holders of Saitama, how they're going to give back to, I think like once a day they're going to do a drawing. And if you can prove that you lost money in Saitama, and of course you have to like and share their tweets and everything, but you have the potential of winning whatever the pot is for that particular day. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy some of that. How fun is that going to be to just, like their tweets and share them and just send them around? So I made like a little degen buy of that token. And so we'll see where it goes. Not much at all. My quant arrived at a worst case scenario. My quant, I imagine you mean quadrillion or something, arrived at a worst case scenario floor for Ether at 384. Oh, okay. If everything can go wrong in the next 3 months can go wrong. Oh my gosh. So Daniel over here says 384. He's even predicting something way worse than me, which is scary, y'all. It's very scary. So let me go ahead and put Bitcoin on a 3-day chart. And it is, now I got to share this. It would help if I shared the screen, right? And I don't know why the screen is just not cooperating with me. Here we go. So let's. Why is it doing this? Does this, Elizabeth, do you have this problem over here where it just doesn't populate the freaking chart? CoinViewCap. Keith, can you get charts like this? LOL, 11,000 Bitcoin, ETH to 500. Say bye to all exchanges, bankruptcy, everything will get liquidated. Mark my word. You don't want that. Oh, no. I mean, hey, I don't want that, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think that people, just because we had a good couple of days in the market, like we had that one day where like SHIB went up 35% and everybody's like, oh, we're coming out of it. Like, oh my God. No, we don't have just a couple of bad weeks. That's not a financial crisis. Like, I just don't think this is not going to work. I can't even use that chart. I just don't even think, well, I know for sure the younger generations never really went through a financial crisis and problems. Like they probably never had to wait on gas lines the way we had to wait on gas lines. And when I talk about gas lines, I'm talking about you had to sit in the car with your parents and wait to get gas for several hours at a time. And half the time you sat there, and by the time your turn was almost up, they'd run out of gas and you'd have to go home. Like it was bad, 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 bad. That kind of stuff. Like, oh, people didn't get toilet paper and paper towels during the lockdown. They thought it was the end of the world. I'm like, there's food, man. Like it's when the food starts to get low on the shelf, then you need to panic. Then you need to start to worry. Like it's right now, everything seems to be okay. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because things okay for me. I know things are not okay for a lot of people. Like there's a lot of people that are struggling out there. And if you do have the financial means, it's such a great idea to just make a donation to your local food bank. I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about if you go shopping, why not bring an extra bag and just fill it with, oh man, come on, stop it. fill it with groceries that you're going to bring to your local food pantry. Because there's people, you may not know who they are, you may not know them, but they could be desperate for. Is my camera been out of focus? Maybe they can't afford to eat, you know? I mean, hey, man, I grew up very poor. I definitely know what it's like to be hungry. Like, I know people say they grew up poor or whatever, they had a rough time. Like, no, like, unless you know how it feels to be hungry, and not hungry like you missed a meal or you missed a snack, but like you literally didn't eat for a few days and your mother had to keep you home from school because she was worried you're going to pass out and they were going to have like child services come to the house just check out what's going, like, that's poverty, right? Nobody knows what goes on in other people's homes. So it's always a good idea, if you have the financial wherewithal, to give back to your community, to help those that are, not as fortunate as you, if you happen to be one of the few that is financially stable. So, and like I said, I don't complain about that because I think it made me the person that I am today. I'm just driven, I'm determined, and we're all entrepreneurs. We all own our own businesses, and it just put a certain amount of drive into us, right? Like, it's maybe if we grew up in the lap of luxury, we'd be spoiled little brats that know nothing. It's amazing to me how many people that are so wealthy and they're so well connected and they have all of this exposure to culture and education, and they're fools. They're just like stupid. They're stupid, they're ignorant, they're naive. Like, it's amazing. It baffles my mind how when people have all of those opportunities just handed to them, they just take them for granted. So maybe I would have been one of those brats. So it's actually good. Okay, let's see. Yosuma says, y'all guys don't know what misery is. I'm in Puerto Rico. Oh, damn. And survived Hurricane Maria. We didn't have communication for 2 weeks, nothing, radio silent, all. It was like apocalyptic shit. I know it was. I hear you. I feel you. I understand. I can't even imagine. I know how many people passed away in Puerto Rico, not directly from the hurricane itself, but because of the after effect of what happened there. And that's terrible, right? Like, I was in Florida for a lot of the hurricanes. Wilma, we didn't have power for like 10 days. So I know how that stinks. And I wasn't halfway as bad as you are. So, oh, what's up, Moses? Thank you very much for the $50 bomb. The queen of crypto, Volt Army, Voltoshi, Voltisoft, and Volti Change coming up. You guys, isn't that amazing? Thank you, Moses. We got Space Chick in the house. She says, thank you, Moses, too. So now that we get the $50 bomb, let's go ahead and pull up the screen for, we just had it up, but we'll go ahead and share it again for Volt. How can we not, right? Let's go to the Volt Inu, because we did take a little peek at the tweet that was put up by Voltoshi and how completely amazing everything is. We'll watch it again, right? So let me go ahead. I'll do this on StreamYard. Hold on a second. Oh, rewind. Look at that. That looks just nice. Some clean. So that's going on. And I know, how do I get out of this? Hold on a second. Okay, and there was another one too. I think we had played it. Oh, and this is the fighter that we are sponsoring. She's going to be wearing some Volt gear. Jocelyn, she's a MMA chick, right? Look at her with her Volt shirt. You go. She's buff. I definitely would not want to be in the ring with her. She beat the shit out of me. I know that. No. Oh, I'm scared. We'll go down. Holistic crypto. Everybody's vaulting. Look at that. Look at this. Now you can get cashback cashback event, Crypto Cart, and our great partners at Volt Inu Official are running a promotional cashback event on our gift card store between the 23rd, 23rd, 23th, the 23rd of June. It's supposed to be 23rd of June to June the 30th. Jocelyn Edwards. Look at her, man. Just boom, all her tats. Now, what was with this Pepsi thing, right? Let's read this. I saw this today. Pepsi Aaron. I challenge at Pepsi at Ramon Laguerta at PepsiCo to connect with me so we can discuss being the first beverage to be partners with the best. Oh, this is somebody challenging them. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a thing that was going to happen. You know how the booze bottle came out in like a lightning bolt type of thing? I thought it was going to be one of those things. Volti change is coming soon, so bullish. I hear you, man. I think it looks really nice. And like I was saying about Volt before, it's so nice that you didn't hear about any of this, right? Like Voltoshi kept all of this under wraps until it was almost done. There are other projects out there that kind of dangle this news in your face for months on end. Like they'll tell you something is coming and a couple of months pass and that thing is still not there. And they're like, oh, we missed it or whatever. And oh, it's coming soon. We don't get that with Volt. Like Volt says something's going to happen. And it happens. And this is great. Look how many times a day Voltoshi is staying in touch with the community. Like you never have to wonder if this guy is working. We know he's working. The NFTs are coming out soon. You could always go check out their vault, the Vault, which is crazy amazing. It's packed with so much stuff. But all of this stuff is going on with Vault, and everyone is very bullish on Volt. There's so many people now that just talk about it on a freaking daily basis, by the way. It's not just like, oh, they'll make a video every now and then. Like, I think Elizabeth goes live probably a couple of times a week. Crypto Latina will be interviewing her on Sunday. How amazing is that? That's really cool. What is that artwork, Tammy? Let me see. Let me see. I saw artwork, but I was thinking that it was like a sample of one of their NFTs is what I thought it was. Did I miss it? This. The Volt Army would be looking how to vault. I don't know. Let's go to the comments, I guess. Oh, no, I don't want to write a comment. I want to read comments. I don't know what it is. Was it a sample of the NFT? What is the dark spot? Okay, you guys, Elizabeth is a conspiracy theorist. We all know. We know what Elizabeth is. Which dark spot? She probably sees boobs. You see boobs? Oh, I see boobs. Are these boobs? What do you see, Elizabeth? We all know Elizabeth. She is. She's a conspiracy theorist. We know. Are those boobs? What are they? I don't. Still waiting on my Saitama and in word where they are now on the process. It's a huge dark spot. I don't see it though. Hold on a second. Are you making fun of me? Let's see. I legit can't see it. This huge dark spot? I don't know what it is. Tell me. Tell me, Elizabeth, what is it? There's something there that I can't see. There is something, I'm sure, and I just can't see what it is. It's supposed to it's one of those pictures, right, that but what is it? You're not telling me what it is. Okay, so let's talk about since someone asked me, token A, I I know they've been doing the airdrops. They've been trying to work at breakneck pace according to them, John, and I think they might have gotten like 60,000 done. And the last that I checked Etherscan, when I looked through the deployer wallet, it seemed like they were, you know, plowing through the 30,000 area. So if you had 30 billion tokens or less, you're still in line. Let's say if you had 30 billion tokens, it's your turn in the lineup to get those. Probably 20s will be next week. And oh, Elizabeth says, I have no clue. I'm asking you. Do I know about Impact XP? Yeah, what's going on with them? Like they're in major financial straits, right? Dire straits. Space Chick says she doesn't know what the black dot is. Well, then why did you bring up the black dot? I thought she was like, look at the black dot. What do you think it is? See what it is? Can you see the hidden message? Because that's what she does. She'll look at a picture. Elizabeth, you know this is true. She'll look at a picture of something and she'll be like, what's the hidden message? Did you see that thing over there? What is the hidden message over there? It's like maybe it was just a dot. No, it means something. She knows she is. Um, so yeah, it'll be your turn in the lineup shortly. Yeah. So we know, and I said this like last week. No, not last week, the week before. The way that the airdrops are going with Token A, we know damn sure they don't have 363,000 holders. No way. At best, they had, well, we're going to see, right? They probably have about 100,000. If we had to make a guess as to how big the Volt army is right now, it's probably the same size. If we put the people together on BSC and on Ethereum and collectively all of the different exchanges, what would those wallets add up to? Because, when you have an exchange like Bitmart, Digifinex, Bitneck, none of these show up on the Etherscan or BSC scan, right? Just the exchange itself shows up as a holder. So one exchange is one holder. Meanwhile, that exchange could have thousands and thousands of holders, but we don't know. We don't know. So in order to get an accurate sort of count, I wish everybody that was a Volt Army would just follow on Twitter. Like if you're a Volt holder, follow on Twitter and let's get to the bottom of it. Let's see how many people are indeed in the Volt Army. Like their Twitter, as of right now, if we look at how many followers Voltoshi, the official Volt Inu Twitter page has, it's almost 60,000, right? And there's so many people that are on these exchanges that have Volt that they are not on Twitter. Oh, honey, are you okay? Did you guys hear my cat sneeze? That was so sad. So yeah, no, I don't. What happened with Impact XP? Did it rug? Did something happen? Lest we forget, they were also a victim of Token A and their shenanigans because they changed a lot of their smart contract, right? This is Impact XP. If we look at it, this is actually the third version of their smart contract because Token A made them change it, right? They had to be renounced to get onto SataMask. So they renounced their contract, and what SataMask, their new thing, is not renounced. So can you imagine? So what's that guy's name? Yod, I think is. Will Shiryo and Mononoke survive? Mm. In this market, you're gonna have to gird your loins if you're a holder in a project and you really want it to survive, but all these little shit projects, no, they're not gonna survive. Like, that's the only way that they possibly can survive is like this. People wallets become so diluted, it's not worth it for them to sell their tokens. So what's the point in selling them? Like, okay, I'm going to pay more in gas fees to dump these tokens, so I might as well just leave them in my wallet. That's it. That's it. I mean, if you zoom out of the impact XP chart, it I have to be honest, it looks like a lot of other charts. Like a lot of charts look like this now because of the market and because of, the stagnant nature of everything that happened because of SataMask. This was supposed to be on SataMask, and SataMask got pushed off and pushed off and pushed off, and now people can't even get into their SataMask, right? Like, you can't do anything with your SataMask. So, I don't know. Look at it's basically where it was a little bit after launch, right? Like, a lot of projects, this happens too. If you don't have and they don't have any utility, they just have a roadmap of what they wanna do down the pipe. But here's the weird thing about Impact XP, and, like, we know this is true, right? Like, because 'cause we've been in this game long enough. They're so old. Impact XP is so old. They're much older than Volt, and they're hardly on any exchanges. They don't have the community that Volt has. They don't have the enthusiasm that Volt has. And they don't have half of the stuff, all the partnerships that Volt has. Like, they don't have any of that. None of that. And they're so old. It feels like they've been here forever, right? No. Then they come to Volt Inu, and Volti-Change will burn hearts and fires their tokens. I don't get what that means. Hold on a second. Maybe I've read it wrong. Maybe I've read it wrong, Elizabeth. No. Then come to Volt Inu, and Volti-Change will burn their tokens. Oh, is it one of those things that you can, like, bring your dead token over to? Is that what Volti-Change can do? That would be sweet, right? That's a great idea. I think that will be helpful. I hold on a second. I'm sorry. I had to use my trusty nose drops, and nobody wanted to see that. Elizabeth tells me I'm fired, which is cool. That's cool. I've been over here. I've been over live for over an hour. So listen, guys, for those of you that just got here or whenever you got here, I just want to quickly again tell the story about, the title of the video. I went through it in the beginning, but let me tell it again. How all of these projects are connected and how a lot of them, I believe, are going to be in big trouble, especially if they're over leveraged. Like we saw in 2008, in the global financial crisis of 2008, it exposed a lot of people like Bernie Madoff. So here we are in a global financial crisis again, 2022, and a lot of these projects that are built on high leverage, their dominoes are starting to fall collectively. And once the original one starts to fall, they're all soon shortly going to follow, right? So we know that the first domino to fall was with Terra Luna. Like, it's crazy how many projects and how many people that actually hurt. So Three Arrows Capital is one of those projects that it hurt significantly. Um, this is a company that was started by two guys, Zhu Su and what's that other guy's name? Kyle Davies. in like 2012. They were friends from college. They started this. Everything was cool. It was just them working out of their living room. By 2017, they had 30 people working for them. They were established, right? And then they started to recognize that, cryptocurrency is really the way to go. The young people are really into it. It just has such a dynamic energy. And really, this truly is going to be the future of all the financial systems. It's all going to be digital. There's not going to be physical money soon. That's the way of the future. So by 2018, they were all about crypto. Everything they had was crypto. 2018 was very early to be in that cryptocurrency game, right? They got a lot of stuff very, very cheaply and really great stuff. So their portfolio was padded with a lot of what would be known as blue chip holdings, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, with some of the bigger gaming projects, things like this. They're doing great. Or so we thought, right? And they were. They were doing good, but when Terra Luna had their hypermint, they had 3 Hours Capital had $300 million holding of the Luna token. $300 million. By the time the hypermint was finished and done, their $300 million holding was now worth less than $1,000. Just $1,000. Can you imagine? Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But that's what happened. What's up, Arturo? Thank you. I appreciate it, Simon. Thank you. So that was the first domino to fall, right? Terra Luna, 300 million down to less than 1,000. So what do you do in this instance? Maybe if it was just Terra Luna, maybe they could have survived. As a matter of fact, Kyle Davies did give an interview to the Wall Street Journal a couple of weeks ago, and he was asked about their position in Terra Luna, how badly they were affected, and how big is the damage, basically. And he's like, nah, we got this. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out that, he was a little less than truthful because a lot of these exchanges, some of these small, maybe not smaller exchanges, but some of these smaller platforms, they leveraged the hell out of themselves on these platforms and really didn't put up that much in collateral. One of the viewers not too long ago said, I can't remember what he said. It was like on paper, it wound up being like they put 1 Bitcoin for every 11 that they took. Like that was crazy. That's insane. So of course, if they can't meet their margin calls, they're about to get liquidated. But what's the big deal if they get liquidated at this point, right? They already made off with all of the money. So what's the issue? It's not really an issue. So they also made another bet, just like Celsius Network did, that staked Ethereum was really going to pay. And it is. Staked Ethereum, if you're into those contracts, it is good. It's good because Ethereum 2.0 is going to be the future, but it's risky. Like it's locked up there, until proof of stake comes along and all of that gets launched, the two chains merge. Like you're sitting around waiting for that to happen. It's going to pay off, but who knows when that's going to happen. So they made, I think it was like 22,000 staked Ethereum that they had there. Somehow they wound up selling it for a loss. Somebody probably came in and bought it for a loss just to get out of that position so that they could probably try to salvage whatever they could of their company. So, a lot of projects have been hurt. A lot of smaller projects have been hurt by them. We look at Voyager. They borrowed I think it was 350 million from Voyager alone. That they really leveraged themselves. BitMEX, Deribit, FTX, like all of these places, they're crazy leveraged. And they just can't, they don't have the money. Not in this market. Maybe in normal market conditions, this would be okay, they could do it, right? It would be okay. Not now. Not in this bear market. No, not going to happen. So a once respected firm that understood risk management, had a great portfolio, was respected in the space. Now they're looking like a couple of degens, like, "Hey, let's throw some money over here and see if it sticks to the wall." Like, it's not good, but this is what happens when you run into a financial crisis like the one that we're in. If you don't have a firm footing, if you if you've over leveraged yourself in any way because you're waiting for the next thing to happen that's going to pay off, it's probably not going to happen. Like, people that live paycheck to paycheck and they've been buying things on their credit cards, but it's like that credit card has now been maxed out. Maybe you would open up another credit card and kind of just start taking care of things with that credit card. Well, now all the cards are full. You have nowhere left to get money. Nothing. Your paycheck's not due for a couple days. You got no food in the fridge. Like, what do you do, right? And you can't even make the minimum payments. That's where Three Arrows Capital is right now. Like, they're in a bad shape. They're in a bad condition. And I think they're probably going to get bought out. I mean, I don't know who would want to buy them at this point, right? If they're so damn broke, why would anybody even want to buy them out? I don't even know. But they are. They just look like a couple of degens, and this is it. So these guys were always all over Twitter. They do a lot of smack talking on Twitter. And, just a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about what a great investment that Stake Teeth is. Kyle Davies is like, oh, Stake Teeth, this is the future, is the way to go. It's a better bet than Ether itself. And he just sold all his. So be careful on who you take financial advice from. Like, because if you read his tweet, he was super bullish. Oh, he was so bullish on the Stake Teeth. Right, Libby? Kyle Davies was super bullish. She's like, shut up. I'm tired. Take me to bed. Free listings is happening soon in all the exchanges. You're probably right, man. Who knows what's going to happen with this freaking John. Oh, John. You came to the right channel. John, talk to Mama. Mama's going to tell you the truth. Seda Realty, it's a honeypot. You know that that's not going to happen, right? Like, you understand that's it's a honeypot. Maybe they didn't launch it as a honeypot, but it's a honeypot now. There is no liquidity in Seda Realty. You can't sell it. You cannot sell it. So I don't know how you... If you're invested in Seda Realty, I think your best bet, if you can sell those tokens for anything, I would get out of there. I mean, but John, did you know, we just found this out last night because Faltron told us, which I didn't even know. So the influencers that are on Twitter that promote Token A, I call it Token A, but you know what I'm talking about, get paid to shill Saitama. This is terrible. This is so bad. Shaka, Torres, I think Anime dumped them today, but Anime was one of the guys. Any of the big influencers that are still shilling Saitama, they get paid in Seda Realty tokens. What? Why would anybody take Seda Realty tokens as payment? That thing is worthless. They allow themselves to get hacked. They said it was an accident. I call BS. I think somebody on the team took that money. I think it was a coordinated thing because all of a sudden it happened, right? They opened up the buy thing. You were only allowed to buy a certain number of tokens. It would only allow you to buy it. But then it happened where, it was just a little window where somebody could accumulate a whole bunch of tokens and then perform some kind of arbitrage. Like, it was this whole story that I still don't completely understand. But all I know is all the liquidity got drained from Seda Realty. They don't have the money to put back in there. I think it's done. CoinView Cap says, LOL, no free listings. I think that I mean, you could be right. There could be the chance that they reduce their listing fees and they probably will increase the fees for us to perform exchanges, which I think would be probably the better idea for them, right? Let people get their tokens on the exchanges and just hit us a little more with a fee. The fees are not that bad. I mean, if you compare it to gas fees on a wallet, they're nothing. Nothing. Influencers, are there any left? First, you had a hard time buying Saitama Realty, and now it's not worth anything. No, it's not worth anything. I don't think there's any liquidity in Sata Realty now at all. So I don't know why they would take payment in it. So how many people bought into Sata Realty and now they have no money? I think Sata Realty was like the final straw that kind of pushed Faltron out, but now they're saying Anime left too. He was a big shiller. He was a huge shiller for Saitama. Now he's gone too. They're just they're shedding from the herd one by one. People are like, oh, this is messed up. Like, maybe I should get out of here. So let me pull up I shouldn't do this because I know these people hate me already. But listen, if John doesn't know, like, he should know, right? Like, I feel like it's important to be honest with people. Like, there's the chart for Sata Realty. I'll put it on a 4-hour candle. There's your chart. You could see where the exploit happened on the day of launch. Look at that. Look at where it was going. Look at that wick, everybody. Look at the opportunity that Saitama had. Does everybody see that wick? It's like freaking never ending. There it is. Look at this opportunity that they had. That's the launch of Sata Realty. Look where they are now. Way down here. Down here somewhere. And here, let's go. 6,000. Oh, no, I'm sorry. $6.53 in liquidity. You heard me right. I'm not kidding you. You heard me. $6.53 in liquidity. That's it. Their 24-hour volume is 15 cents. You guys, you can't make it up. Only Saitama would do this. John says, wow, so am I not going to join the Sata Realty Millionaires Club? Unfortunately not. I'm sorry, buddy. How do we know for sure that they left? Only God knows. Who left? Can I hear you? Can you hear me? Yeah, so that's a sad story. So somebody else asked about when they were getting their tokens. Let's just type up Saitama. Because then we'll be able to go to Etherscan. And then I'm going to go to bed because my cat he's freaking out. Yes, mommy's coming soon, honey. It's hard to know which one's the right one, though. Is this it? No. Why can't they just make it easy? Now I have to go to their freaking... Oh, what is it? SaitamaToken.com? What, honey? I copied the contract. Okay. Here we go. Any day now. It got stolen. They got exploited. Come on. This computer is horrible. It got stolen the night of their launch. There was an exploit. They opened up the contract for whatever reason. Max did something and somebody was able to go in there and buy up all the tokens for nothing. They were probably allowing their families to go in and buy tokens for, nothing. And whatever, somebody was there and saw that the contract was opened and they bought it all. And then they brought it on over to Uniswap and just started dumping it. People were buying it and they were dumping it. Okay, so let's go to from here we could see like this is a why does it say shopping here? What the hell? This is a very tight pattern. Like normally you'll see some ups and downs, but it's like it's tight. It's tight in this range. Like it's people are getting pissed, right? Like they're not sort of deviating from this spot. I don't think people are thrilled with this. So anyway, let's go to Etherscan from here. Unbelievable. I don't know what is wrong with my never mind. Okay, so if we look here now on, and let me just say, in case a Wolfpack person is just popping in here, I was asked this question. I just didn't bring this up. So here's their amount of holders. Okay. As of right now, it's 62,127. So we can assume the majority of that is definitely airdropped. However, maybe not all of it was airdrops. Maybe a lot of it was people bought. So let's go down. And if you want to, so what we should do, you don't always see the token drop always here. Sometimes you might just see changes from, happening on Uniswap, but they just happen to do this. 2 minutes ago, they did a token drop. In case you want to go check where they are and you don't see this here where it says transfers, you could go to holders and that is going to bring you. Did it take it? Oh, it did take me over there. You go down to, well, see, here's what's weird because they should be sending it out of the deployer wallet, but they sent that one when I last looked from the vault. So I don't understand why they even created this stupid vault. Why didn't they just leave the stuff in the deployer wallet? It's just stupid. And then they burned 55% at the day of launch. They just burned 55% of the thing. They should have done only 50 because I think they're going to run out of tokens, right? Like, so you see Gate.io has number 4 wallet, over 1.5% in their tokens. OKEX, Polynex, these are all exchanges, right? What happens? Because they're always saying, oh, we're going to get on Binance. Soon we're getting on Binance. Where are they going to get the tokens? Where are the tokens going to come from if they do get listed on a big, huge exchange like that? And that a listing on an exchange like that, I think is the only thing that's going to save this project. If they get onto, let's say, Binance, or they get onto crypto.com, KuCoin, Webull, like one of these bigger exchanges is going to be their saving grace. Where are they going to get the tokens from? So let's go to deployer because they're not even done. Between the vault and the deployer wallet, they have less than 4%, and they're not done with airdrops, people. So here we can see these were the last batches of airdrops that they did, and you can see here 36,660. They're in the high 30s. So they have now the mid 30s to go and the low 30s. And by the way, in this area here, the 30s, the 20s, and the teens and lower is where the majority of their people are. That's the majority of the people are in that area. So if it took this long to get to this area, it's only going to take a lot longer to do the rest of them. And now they're trying to decide what's a dust wallet? What do you qualify as a dust wallet? So what they're saying is, where are you when we're going to cut you off? Like what, maybe we're just going to decide to not send you your tokens because screw you. You just don't have enough. Mine was in SatanMask. Well, so you can still get them in SatanMask, right? In case you don't know if you received them or not, what you can do is go to your wallet address in SatanMask, bring it over to Etherscan, and this way you can see if you've had any transactions in there. That's how you do it. Very, very simple. Um, so I think, and I've said this before, I think they made a mistake when they were figuring out how many tokens they needed. I don't think they launched with enough tokens. I think number one, they screwed something up. They weren't thinking, they didn't mint enough tokens. Number two, I think there's a chance that they sent too many people too many extra tokens, and now they don't have enough tokens to finish their airdrop, is what I think, is what I believe, right? And now they've got no tokens to get on bigger exchanges. Where are they going to get the tokens? By the time they're done with the airdrops, they're going to be out of tokens. And then they're deciding who gets cut off here. So the thing that upsets me the most is when people are like, oh, well, the amount keeps getting raised. Before it was, if you only had $1 worth of Saitama, you weren't going to get your tokens. I don't care if you only got 50 cents in there. Those are your tokens. If you don't get your tokens, you got rugged by them. If they don't send you your tokens, that's a rug job. That's how I look at it. That's how I consider this, right? Totally rugged. So I heard $1, and even $1, I was pissed because let's say some poor guy from a third world country that saved $50 or $100 all year long and wanted to invest into a cryptocurrency, and that's all he had. So maybe he spent $50 on gas fees and bought Saitama for $50 at the all-time high. Guess what? That guy's wallet's now going to only be worth $1 American dollar. Is it fair that that guy's not going to get his tokens? Because if you look on Twitter, you can see that Wolfpack is saying Saitama is going to be worth $1 or $5. It's only a matter of time. What matters is that you diamond hand it. Can you diamond hand it? You'll be a millionaire if you diamond hand it. And I'm like, no, you won't. Because look at the people who were millionaires, like Feltron. At the all-time high, his investment was worth $20 million, and he didn't sell. He diamond handed it, and he's like, he's like, it's not even worth $1 million now. It's disgusting. And they were making fun of him for not selling. They're like, well, you should have sold, like they did, right? Like all of the influencers that tell you to diamond hand, they all dumped at the all-time high. Just so you know, they want you to diamond hand, but they're taking profits every day of the week. Every 4 hours, Russ sells his tokens. Every 4 hours, Russ dumps a couple ETH worth of Saitama every 4 hours like clockwork. So that's it, basically. And I had another. Oh, so now they're talking about, it was the $1. Now they're talking about $10. If your wallet's not worth $10, they're not going to send you tokens. What? Like before you know it, it's going to be if your wallet doesn't equal the gas fees, you're not going to get your tokens. And why? Looking at Ethereum, Etherscan, what the hell are they even doing? Because when I bought that token earlier today, I can't remember when I bought that token. The gas fee was like $6. And they're just doing stuff now. I guess maybe after midnight it is a little less, but I mean today it was dirt cheap today. They should have tried to get everything done that they possibly could today because it was dirt cheap. So I'll have to let you know how that little degen play goes. And once again, I think it's called Rebate Saitama. It's for people that lost money in Saitama. It's a token. It's like a little degen play. I only bought a couple $100 worth, but what they're going to do is take a part of the liquidity and do drawings. And people who lost all their money in Saitama, you have a chance to win some of these tokens. Or no, they're paying out in Ethereum. So if you've been damaged by Saitama, go to this Twitter. I'm going to show it to you. It's so funny. I don't know why I think it's called Rebate Saitama. Rebate Saitama. Oh, they already get okay. So 13 hours ago, they already gave 1 Ethereum, 1 Ether to someone. Next payout is going to be half an Ether. Here we go, my little sad wolves, for a chance to win. So what you need to do is go over, and their Twitter handle is at Rebate Sata. Follow them. If you want a chance to win, go on and follow all of the instructions here. You have to like it, follow them, retweet it. Probably have to leave a Kid Enoch. He's so funny. You see? Wait, let's watch this. Hilarious. Wait.
You son of a bitch! Ah! 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 Brian! Brian!
That was funny. That was hilarious. So yeah, if you've been damaged by Saitama, you can go on and try to win you some free Ether this way. You know, if you lost money, why not? Right? That's my whole thing. I knew Saitama was too good to be true, and I'm so sorry. Look, and John, hey, John, I don't blame you, because I was once in your position too. I really was. When they were headed out to Las Vegas, I got into Saitama when they launched onto Bitmart. So this was before they had their Vegas jaunt, which was when they were at their all-time high. That's when they were supposed to release Sata Mask. That was, I think, in October they had that party. It was called literally the Sata Mask release party. The release party. They were supposed to unveil Sata Mask at that party. It was supposed to be done and live. And now, you know, it didn't even just happen until this past year, and it was never even worked right. So what the hell? Like, seriously, what the hell? So we all had high hopes for Saitama. And John, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but those people that are in the wolf pack hate me because I constantly tell the truth about Saitama, but in their minds, and even one of the big influencers, his name is Faltron, he said it was like being in a cult. He felt like he woke up from cult mentality because when he was in the cult, he couldn't see it for what it was. He couldn't see all of the crap that was going on. He didn't believe it. He heard of all the things we were saying. He just simply didn't believe it. Like, he didn't believe that Russ was selling off his Saitama. He didn't believe that the other devs were selling their Saitama. He just didn't believe it. But what happened, you know how it all became unraveled? One of the developers made a donation to somebody and posted it like, hey, I donated this much. Like, you know how they give you kudos. Thank you for through that donation, they were able to find his wallet. And then they realized this guy's dumping all his Saitama. He's telling people to buy dips, and he is dumping his tokens. And from that one leak where they discovered, I think it was Nam's wallet, they were able to track everybody else's wallet. And that's how Faltron knows that Russ sells every 4 hours. He's selling Saitama like clockwork. He's like, it's so consistent. I thought it was probably a bot, but it's not. It's him physically selling Saitama. even when the token would start to pump and you're like, okay, we have hope here. It's starting to pump. The price is going up and up. And you see those big red candles coming down. Those are the developers dumping their tokens on you. So don't feel bad. We all believed in the story, right? Like we all felt like the potential was there and it was going to be a great project. And then they have the nerve to talk about Dr. Praveen. So Dr. Praveen was one of the big whales in Saitama. At the all-time high, Dr. Praveen's value of his tokens was $70 million. I'll say it again. The value of his Saitama tokens were $70 million. Now, you hear these numbers and you're like, what? At its all-time high, lest we forget, Saitama, its market cap was about $17 billion. So there was a lot of millionaires in Saitama, a lot of millionaires. And at that Las Vegas party, he went and he realized people were dumping. He ran up to his hotel room and started to buy because he wanted to put a floor. He wanted to stop the bleed, stop the hemorrhage. So while the developers were down in the party dumping their tokens, this guy's up in his hotel room buying them, trying to stop the bleed. And they had the nerve to complain about him that he went to another project called Terrarium. They outed all of his wallets. Guy has like 108 wallets. And they outed all of his wallets. But maybe it's a good thing they did out his wallets because now that everybody has this dude's wallets, right? He's made a personal commitment that he's not going to sell any of his investment in Terrarium for at least 7 years, which is good. So this guy says, Manny said he never sold any. In fact, he bought every dip. And that's, because he was so unwise and basically outed his wallet. They 100% know it's false. They know he sold and continues to sell, right? So that's the thing. When the wallet got found out, like that's the great thing about blockchain. You can tell anybody any story, any narrative. You can get them to believe it. But the blockchain doesn't lie. There's a permanent record that's there for everyone to see. If somebody has that wallet address, they get to see every transaction that you've ever made. And if you go on Twitter, there's a person there called Skywalker. Skywalker posts all of the devs' wallet addresses. And this Skywalker even made like a flow chart of them selling while they're telling you to buy dips, how they're consistently dumping the tokens. I know this person, they tweet so many times a day. So it probably would be very hard to find those tweets because, I went way down and we're only at a couple days ago. So this person definitely, tweets a lot. But if you want the inside information, if you want information on, facts, they put facts up there and they follow facts with blockchain activity. Like here, this is a flow chart of somebody. When Tezuki Inu got rugged, they hunted down the developer of Tezuki Inu and shook out $200,000 from him. And who was it? I think it was Elon Mansour who was supposed to give that money back to the community. Instead, he put the liquidity in for Impact XP. Well, that's bullshit. That should have went back to the Tezuki Inu people. And here's all the blockchain evidence. There's Faltron having a conversation. Like they post everything. So in case somebody's like, oh no, that didn't happen. They post screenshots of conversations that were had, and they always post the Etherscan links because the blockchain doesn't freaking lie. So there you go. That's that. Guys, I've been here live for so long. I really only came up to talk about 3 arrows, but oh well. John says, "They stole my money. I want my gas fees back. Where can I find Russ and Willie D?" Your best bet is to, try to enter one of those giveaways to see maybe if you could win some giveaways. I'm serious. That's your best bet at getting some money out of Saitama, depending on how many tokens you have. Like, let's say if you had 10 billion tokens, you're going to get 1,000 tokens. You'll be last on the list. You'll get them eventually, but it'll be a while. Worst financial mistake of my life. I got all my friends and family into Saitama. Ooh, man, I'm sorry. That's a tough one because they really had us believing that it was going to be the thing, right? Like we thought, man, why can't everybody see this is a great token? Look at this is practically going to be an exchange. It's not called an exchange. It's called SataMask. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And the hyperburn's going to kick in. And the fervor was there. Like, we're in so early. We're all going to be millionaires. Like, all of us in the wolf pack right now, we're all going to be millionaires. That was the feeling that they gave to everybody. That's the feeling that they're still continuing to generate on Twitter. That's why they changed all of their marketing, their logo, their color. They're trying to shirk that image of a meme coin, and now they want to build themselves as a solid cryptocurrency project with, hey, we're not just going to have a SataMask. We're going to be an exchange because that's the story now. Forget SataMask. That story is, forget that. They're going to be an exchange. You know what they did? They basically just stole the Terrarium blueprint and everything that they said they hated about Terrarium. They're now just saying they're going to do. Remember how Terrarium, they're like, oh, you're headquartered in India? What a pile of junk. And no, India. Like, and now guess where their headquarters is going to be? In India, or so they say. Like, everything that they said was terrible about Terrarium, they're doing themselves, except for Terrarium's actually getting it done. It's close to being done. So it's going to be a huge game changer. But listen, man, I feel for you. I feel bad for you. So here's somebody in the chat just being stupid. Oh God, what a fool. I know. And I feel bad for you guys. It's terrible how one token can hurt so many people, right? So that's the situation with that. So all you can do is wait for your tokens to get to you. They'll eventually get to you. And like I said, if you follow the way that I showed you on Etherscan, it's very easy to keep track of how many people they've dropped to. You can tell how many tokens that you have due. Right now, they're in the high 30,000s. So if you had 30 billion, your turn in line is now. Keep an eye on that Etherscan. You can keep track of, okay, where's your token count now? Maybe if you had 10 billion, you'll be getting it probably in a month or so. Like, it's going to take that long to do. If they're boasted that they had 363,000 holders and they've only done 65,000 airdrops, they got a lot to go. But you and I both know the wolf pack was never that large. The majority of those holders would be considered dust wallets. But the whole thing now is we have to fight for every single person that was considered a dust wallet holder. I don't care if you only have $1 worth of Saitama in your wallet. That's your token. And if you don't get it, then you've been rugged by them. And by the way, the community never voted for a V2. They put it up for a vote. They're like, hey, who wants to see a V2 with the project? Nobody ever said me. Maybe a couple people did because they're sycophants. They would do anything for Russ and everybody, right? They just lick their buttholes. They love them so much, they're just disgusting. But the majority of people didn't want a V2 and they did it anyway. So that tells you, do they care about what you want or do they only care about what they want and what makes them money? They only care about what they want. And we know that to be true. 100% it's true. Wait a second. My camera went out a second. Hold on. There we go. India has a bad crypto regulations. I don't know. Oh, for what do you mean? Why? Well, Terrarium is headquartered in India because that's where the CEO lives. That's why they're doing it. Actually, I've heard that they're pretty harsh on regulations over there. So somebody was even saying, like, Russ has a criminal record. He's going to be shocked to find out that he's not going to be able to operate in India because he wouldn't pass their regulatory process. So really, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. I know why Terrarium is doing it because that's where Milton lives. Why Russ decided to do it? I have no freaking idea because he's an idiot. Guys, that's going to do it here for me. I've been talking now for almost 2 hours. And I've told the Three Arrows Capital story now twice. I'm not going to tell it a third time. But I gave you the gist of what happened there with 3 Hours Capital and how it's linked and associated to Terra Luna and Voyager and the Celsius network. Like all of them are together. And when those dominoes start to fall, like it's already exposing these people that are over leveraged. It's not good. In this kind of market, maybe they could have sustained what happened with Terra Luna in a regular market, but the market conditions, the way that they are right now, if you're not great with your risk management assessment and you've over leveraged yourself, I don't think you're going to survive this bear market because we're at the very, very beginning. So, like me, what I've done is any of the funds that I had dangling over there in some, I don't want to call it reckless DeFi because I think crypto.com and their associated projects are good, but like you never know, right? Moving him on over to your wallet can never be the wrong thing. Get them over there, secure them. If you have Ether or you have any other thing that you can change into a stable coin, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to protect your assets because it is only going to get worse. We're at the very beginning of this bear market. I know everyone's hoping for a V-shaped recovery, but I hate to tell you, it's not going to happen. It's going to be a long time before we have any recovery coming in. Like we're not even officially in a recession. And don't forget, recession technically has to happen after 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. We're not even there yet. But you and I know that we're clearly in a recession. It's bad situation if you've filled up your gas tank lately or if you've gone to the grocery store. This is a situation we're in, and none of these things get corrected overnight or in a couple of weeks. I can't tell you how many tweets I've seen like, oh, the market's on the rebound. No, it's not. Why? Because Shiba Inu went up 35% one day. Like the market, yes, the market, there'll be good days. But it's going to be followed by a bunch of consecutive bad days. It's not going to get any better. Like I said, can't tell you how many times I've said it. We're going to see Bitcoin at $11,000 and Ether 500, maybe even less. There was one guy in the chat that was Ether's going down to 382. So hopefully, and like I said, I don't want that to happen because I think if that happens, there's going to be a lot of fallout. There's going to be a lot of fallout, and because all of this has a negative effect on everything. All of these exchanges, all of these people that are over leveraged on exchanges, if the values of all these things drop precipitously, it means more of it is going to be dumped on the market because they're going to be liquidated, right? So these people, their positions get liquidated, meaning more Bitcoin is getting sold on the market, which is going to pull down the price even more. Like there could be a day where it's going to look like a free fall. Like the candle is just going to be red and continue down all day. Something like that could happen. Like all of these different things that Three Arrows Capital put up for collateral. Let's say one of these freaking BitMEX or one of these guys has to dump all of that Bitcoin, whatever they put up for collateral, to try to get their money back. That could happen. We don't know exactly how much they put up there for collateral. Probably not much because they were Three Arrows Capital. You know, they were respected, but I mean, it really could go sideways. So, like I said, that could happen. I don't want it to happen, but you just never know. So, guys, I'm going to call it a night here. I appreciate you so very much. Thanks for putting up with my hair. It's humid tonight, so that's how it's going to look. Well, that's going to do it here for me today. You guys, thank you very much for popping on by. And until next time, please take care of yourself. God bless.